Good morning. Hello. Good morning. Hope you're all okay. Hi guys. Hello. Just getting ready. Good morning. Hope you're all okay. I know it looks like you've tuned into some sort of episode of MasterChef, doesn't it? Me with a bowl and some spoons. Luckily for you, it's not. Good morning. I hope you're okay. Yeah, do you know what? It's so funny because, I'm making Play-Doh. If anyone's wondering, if anyone's scared that I was going to do some sort of baking, because I don't know if you're aware that can't bake, won't bake. But I can make Play-Doh. Good morning. Thank you. Always use the Play-Doh recipe. Lovely. Thanks, Emma. That's great to hear. Do you know what? I promise I'm not blowing my own trumpet, but I do get lots of lovely comments from people saying it's like a no fail one, and it's worked for me. So ever since I developed this, literally when Mason was a tiny baby, I used to use similar when I was working in school, but yeah, had a good old practice and developed this one when Mason was a tiny baby, and I've used it since, and touch wood, never goes wrong, but I am live, so there's always chance. Mat leave just ended. Oh, I hope you're okay, my love. I hope you're all right. Yeah, it's dead easy. Do you know what though? I've not made Play-Doh for ages. I bought a pack. I always have a pack of Play-Doh in stock, like in the cupboard, just for those days either I'm not in the mood or Mason's not in the mood. It's just always handy to have some bought stuff. But it is nice to have the homemade things as well. Just to say before we start, it's just because it's homemade does not mean that it's baby safe or taste safe. There's far too much salt in it for it to be safe for children to taste. Okay, so that's just a little word of warning. So if anyone pops up during the live, it's not an edible Play-Doh. Homemade does not mean that it's edible. There is far too much salt in it. So shall we get started? I must admit I'm a bit scared because I've not made Play-Doh for so long, and I've definitely not made it on a live video for ages. So we'll just see how we go. So you might need to bear with me a little bit, guys, because I'm not a professional, if you haven't guessed that already. So yes, this is my Play-Doh recipe. And the reason why I'm making it today is I wanted to do some in time for Valentine's Day tomorrow, so we could do a nice vibrant red or pink one. And once you've made it, I store mine in some sort of Ziploc bag or an airtight container, something like that. If you pull it out, say in a week's time, and it's feeling a bit dry, don't add oil, just splash it with a tiny bit of water, and that normally brings it back to life. Or vice versa, if you're finding that you pull it out and it's gone a bit sloppy, a sprinkling of flour will also pull it back round as well, and it can last for ages and ages, really. It just depends how and where you store it. So this is, like I said, this is the Play-Doh recipe that I developed, and I use at home with Mason. But before we start, it's not taste safe, it's not edible for little ones just because it's homemade. All right. Okay, so now we've got that covered. I put the kettle on, so this is already boiled. So you do need to boil your water beforehand. I just find it works much better. Okay, so first of all, like I said, can't bake, won't bake. I'm not big into baking. I can't be bothered with the mess and the weighing things out and measuring things. I'm a bit of a wing it kind of girl. So whenever I do things, I do this recipe with cups, because it just makes life easier. Anything that makes my life easier and quicker, I do. So I use cups for mine. So a cup of plain flour. If I could ask a favour, if anyone tunes in partway through and is asking questions about the Play-Doh, would you guys, I know you're amazing at helping me answer questions, just because I really want to concentrate on this because I'm not the best. I'm not the best. So I've got 1 cup of flour. Play Ray's version of the Bake Off. Good morning. Yeah. I should have an apron on, shouldn't I? See, I don't even bother with that. So we've got 1 cup of flour. Okay, and then we're going to have 1/4 of a cup of salt. Bear with me. This is why it's not taste safe, because the amount of salt going in it. Okay, I do have my recipe here. I am reading my recipe, otherwise I'll never forget. Cream of tartar. Cream of tartar is essential for Play-Doh, and you need 10 grams. You can normally buy this in the supermarket in a big pot of it. However, I've just got these little sachets. They are more expensive, but I just find having them just means that I never forget. If you ever see it, it's worth getting. So far, what have we done? We've done 1 cup of plain flour, 1/4 of a cup of salt, and 10 grams of cream of tartar. Okay, I'm just going to take, I should have done this before, sorry. I'm just going to take my rings off. Anyone got pad and pen? You making notes? Is anyone on Facebook? I can see there are numbers, but I can't see who's there. You'll have to let me know if you're on. Come say hi. I don't get the alerts to see who's coming on, and I love when I recognise names and things. Okay, so in here I've forgotten my spoon. Could you give me 1 moment? Not quite the right one. Right. In now, what I'm going to put in is 1 tablespoon of coconut oil. Now, I've always used this because it makes the Play-Doh smell gorgeous. Hello, Samantha. But it also is really soft and lovely in the hands, really natural. And these days you can get coconut oil for pretty cheap. I pick mine up in Aldi when I see it, or Home Bargains have it pretty cheap as well. And I always have a jar of it. Good morning, Alison. I always have a jar in the cupboard for Play-Doh. I just think it smells nice and it makes the Play-Doh so soft and it's lovely on little hands. So what I do is I have a tablespoon. I've done a bit more because I've got a small spoon. I don't know if you've worked with coconut oil before, but it comes as a solid. If you scoop it out, I then warm it between my hands and it very quickly turns to an oil. I forgot how messy this was. So I'm just warming it up and it soon goes clean, goes to an oil. And I love the smell of it. Do you like the smell of it? Love the smell. Anything coconutty. I always get coconut shower gel and all those. I love coconut. Coconut candles and vanilla candles and things like that. Okay, so I'm just putting all the coconut oil in there. I should have done this last, because now I've got really oily hands and I've got other bits to do. Oh, guys, what have I done? Sorry. I forgot how messy it was. You can tell I've not made it for ages. Let me just try and scrape as much of that into the bowl before I get my hands into the flour, otherwise I'm not going to be able to do anything. I'll just clean that off, sorry. I told you before, I'm not a professional, guys. I'm just a mum at home talking into a camera, doing my best. So please bear with me. Okay, so we're done. I'll put the coconut oil in. I'll sort it all out in a minute. Anyway, my hands are lovely and soft. Right, using the boiling water, the pre-boiled water, you want 1/2 cup, but do it in a large cup because I'm going to show you my trick. So fill it about halfway. Like I said, everything I do, just wing it, just make it up as you go along. Okay, because I'm wanting to colour my Play-Doh, you could do it plain, which is absolutely fine. I'm going to colour my Play-Doh because I'm actually preparing it for Valentine's Day tomorrow to do some activities with Mason. You could use red. I'm going to go for pink just because I've got loads more of it. I'm going to go for a pink one. I get loads of questions, people asking me what food colouring I use. I've always used Sugar Flare. Sugar Flare, you can get it on Amazon. It's a paste, so it's much thicker. Don't see them bite the lids off on MasterChef, do you? Yeah, it's a much thicker paste, so it means that you don't need quite as much, and it goes a lot further. So it's slightly more expensive than the little supermarket bottles, but it goes a lot further. So as you can see, I'm literally using that, a little lump. Now then, this is my trick. Put your pre-boiled water into the cup, and then you're going to mix the colour into the water. And I just find the dog's going. Is the doorbell going to go? I don't think so. I just find by mixing it in, I'm just going to give it a good mix so there's no lumps. You get a much smoother colour. You don't get a grainy colour where it hasn't quite mixed. It gives it a really good colour. I also get lots of questions, people saying about the Sugar Flare, about it dyeing children's hands. It never has done for Mason, but of course that depends on just how much you're putting in, how vibrant the colours are. But I do find with Sugar Flare, the colours are really, you don't need a lot for it to be really vibrant. I put quite a lot in here. So 1 moment, I just really want it to dissolve properly so that it's so it brings a lovely colour. Just got a couple of lumps, so I've got a really vibrant colour. I don't know if you can see that, if it's picking it up. Okay, so in here, anyone that's just tuned in, can't bake, won't bake, welcome. I'm making Play-Doh. Not very often you will see me baking, guys, but I do make Play-Doh. So we've got 1 cup of plain flour, 1/4 cup of salt, 10 grams of cream of tartar, a tablespoon of coconut oil, and this is just 1/2 cup of boiling water with the food colouring mixed in, so we've got a really smooth colour of the food. Now what I'm going to do is just add it tiny bit at a time, and then I'm going to mix it in. I'm going to use a wooden spoon. I'm not going to bother getting my hands in, guys, because it's really hard. So I'm just going to mix it. Now then, any recipes, if you've ever got a recipe of mine off Instagram or anything like that, it does actually say 1.5 cups of flour, and that's just because you might need it just to get the right consistency. See, it's taken pretty well there already. You see that? Should be doing it like this. You see, it's come together quite quick. And I really like this one as well because you don't need to cook it. It does have the boiled water, so just to bear that in mind if you are going to do this with this recipe with children. Just making sure I've got all the lumps of. I normally like to use my hands just because, do you know what, I've not used all that water. There's still a bit spare. It's coming together nicely. I'm just going to put a little bit more flour in because of the coconut oil. It can make it a little bit oily. I'm just going to put a little bit more in. Now we can go for hands, can't we? It's gone really quiet, guys. What are you thinking? She's mad? Or you're all busy making notes? There, I've just added a tiny bit more flour. That seems to have got it. It's still just powder. I'm just going to knead it in. Can you make Play-Doh with flour, water and salt? Flour, water and salt, you're making more of a salt dough really. You need the cream of tartar to like binding it and bringing it all together and things. And the oiling makes it really nice. Ta-da! Doesn't take long. Hi Mum! My mum's on. Mum, I'm making Play-Doh. She knows I can't bake, won't bake. The coconut oil is optional. I just find you can use other types of oil because of course it depends if your child has an allergy or something, but the coconut oil just gives it a really lovely texture. It's really soft, lovely to touch, and it smells gorgeous as well. If you're, look, the colours come out really vibrant for just the small amount I use, and I didn't use all the water, there's still some water left over. I will tell the recipe again and then I'll post it later because I know that lots of people are going to be asking for the recipe. So it's got a nice vibrant colour, but the coconut oil is lovely. You can also, so I'm making notes when I start my nannying job. Yeah, it's always been a fail-safe one for me, so it's okay. Just tuned in, I will do the recipe in a moment, guys. So yeah, it's nice and really bold colour. I would store this as in an airtight container or a Ziploc bag or something. Like I said, in a week or so, a couple of weeks when you pull it out, if it's looking a bit dry, flick it with water, don't add extra oil. If it's looking a bit sloppy, add just another little sprinkling of flour. The colouring is called Sugar Flare, and you can get it on Amazon. And it's lovely. And yeah, it just makes a really lovely, it's always worked for me, and I can't bake, guys, it's always worked for me, a really nice Play-Doh. You can, of course, add in some sort of scents, maybe like a peppermint, or any herbs or spice. Cinnamon's a lovely one for Christmas. You can literally add in anything. If you use it, if you have any essential oils at home as well, anything like that is really nice. Lavender's a lovely one for using with children, has really great calming effects for children. Yeah, so that's it. So the recipe, for anyone that's just tuned in and is wondering, 1 cup of flour, 1/4 cup of salt, 10 grams of cream of tartar, 1 tablespoon of coconut oil, and then 1/2 cup of boiling water, but judge it. You might need either another sprinkling of flour or a little bit more water, and just get it to the right consistency. Yes, the cream of tartar is necessary. Yeah. Hello, my love. All right, Corinna. Hope you're okay. I'm afraid I don't have any gluten-free Play-Doh recipes. There are some great ones out there. I'm sure if you Google it or Pinterest it, there will be some. Yeah, but I'm afraid I don't have one, not off the top of my head, sorry. We used to make one for in school actually, but I can't remember it. Sorry, Samantha, that's not very helpful, is it? All right, so I'm going to end there then, guys. I will be posting about this today. I might do a little Valentine's setup of some nice, lovely things that we could put with our Play-Doh for Mason, what he's going to do for Valentine's Day, and have a little Valentine's theme. But yeah, just enjoy. So I hope that's been helpful. I will post the actual recipe later on my feed if anyone's wanting to go back and have a go. And then, do you know as well that you can save posts? Do you know that? Do you know on Instagram that you can save a post? So you could always save it and you can always come back to it. Later. So like in a few weeks or so and you're thinking, oh, what was that Play-Doh recipe? If you save it, there's like a little flag. If you save it, you can come back to it and use it whenever you need it. All right, lovely. Okay, I'm going to finish there then, guys. Wasn't quite the disaster I thought it was going to be. Thank you very much. Play keeps you sane. Oh, well, do you know what? That's lovely to hear. And do you know what? Actually, it was play that kept me sane when I had my baby. It got me through the day. It added routine and purpose, and it really helped me when I was having tricky days. So yes, this is why I'm here, is just to help and spread the love of play, and that hopefully you can just use it as like a helping hand when you need it. All right, thank you very much then, guys. Send me your fan mail, let me know what you're up to today, and I will see you soon. Bye.